Well, welcome to Your In Depth, where we walk through and break down our favorite fictional universes. Uh, I am I am Jacob, joined here by Evan. He's given me middle finger. I if you were with us last episode, I asked him a question and starting getting his answer, and right as he starts like answering, I mute him and start the episode. So so this episode, we're gonna be covering season 3, episode 7, 8, and then season 1, episode 22, and then season 3, episode 9, because it's another one of those where they jump around a lot. Evan, are you mad at me?
Huh?
Are you
What?
mad?
Sorry, were you saying something?
I
Oh,
was.
sorry, didn't hear you there. Oh, must be
I
so
think he's
must be so
mad.
rude.
All the flavors you choose to be salty. Anyway, I'm here with Evan.
That's me.
Yeah, he's fun to pick at, and I don't know why.
Because you're rude.
That's fair. Anyway, I have a summary to read so we get a refresher on the episodes covered, and then we'll have a little ad break and we'll get into talking about these episodes. So, for episode 307, unless Evan, you have anything first.
Nope, I just popped my knee and it hurt like a bit.
Lovely. I forgot to write down when I started. I think it's probably like 20 seconds in. But I have to jot down timestamps so I can censor out stuff. Anyway, 307. The Jedi Council orders Ahsoka to take a break, which immediately backfires when she starts having intense force visions of Aurra Sing targeting someone close to her. Which, fun fact, she's not the only one to have dreams about Aurra Sing, Evan. The dreams escalate into near paranoia until Ahsoka realizes that Padmé is the target. She joins Padmé on a humanitarian trip to Alderaan and prevents her from being JFK'd. She also helps expose that the hit was ordered by Zero the Hutt, who loudly vows revenge from his prison cell. The important takeaway: Zero is mad, Ahsoka's force precognition just leveled up, and Padmé is officially on every crime lord's hit list. 308. Padmé is losing her mind over a Senate dinner for Senator Aang, not the Airbender, because she needs his vote against military spending. She sends R2 and C-3PO to grab a Joe Rogan fruit, which immediately turns into price gouging, a luxury droid spa, and 3PO getting kidnapped by Cad Bane's crew. Bane uses the droids to map out the Senate, wipes their memories, and dumps them back into their lives like nothing happened. The fruit gets delivered, Padmé saves face, and we learn the whole thing was a warm-up job for Jabba the Hutt. Bane's real assignment is break Zero the Hutt out of prison. And then we dial back to season 1 in the episode Hostage Crisis, which we have talked about before, but it's been a little bit. And by a little bit, I actually mean not that long ago, I feel like. When did we do that episode?
I thought that was before the gap.
Yeah, it might have been. Let me look. I'll pull up our fancy Spotify page. We're on Spotify, if you didn't know, and you can leave reactions. Not reactions, not what I meant, but actually you might be able, whatever, comments. I meant comments. Yeah, let me look. Oh my God. It was...
Like 3 years ago or something?
Yeah, it was November 22nd of 2021.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. I'm wrong.
Oh lordy.
Anyway, Cad Bane and friends casually infiltrate the Senate, wipe out the commandos, and take a room full of senators hostage. Bane shoots a senator to prove he's serious and demands Zero's release, while Anakin sneaks around the building without his lightsaber, playing stealth action hero. Palpatine caves, Zero is freed, and the bounty hunters rig the Senate to explode on their way out. Anakin drops the senators through the floor to save them, barely avoiding total catastrophe. Catastrophe, if I could say that right. Bane escapes, the Republic looks wildly incompetent, and Zero is officially loose. And now, move ahead. Episode 9 of Season 3. Zero hides on Nal Hutta, blackmailing the entire Hutt Council with a hollow diary full of crime receipts. His ex, Cy Snoodles, breaks him out using unresolved feelings. They flee to his nightmare mother for help, and Zero heads to Teth to retrieve the diary from his dad's grave. Meanwhile, Obi-Wan and Quinlan Vos track him, and Cad Bane gets rehired because apparently no one's learning. At the grave, Cy finally snaps, shoots Zero dead, and takes the diary for herself. The Jedi and Bane throw down over the body. Bane barely escapes, and the arc ends with the galaxy slightly safer, slightly messier, and full of people who are very glad Zero is gone.
Including me.
Samesies. Did not like his character. But anyway, quick ad break, and we will get into our discussion. This episode is brought to you by Luxury Droid Spas, because even the hardest working droids deserve a moment to decompress. Whether you're navigating galactic traffic, translating tense political negotiations, or simply carrying emotional baggage that isn't technically yours, Luxury Droid Spas offer full system reboots, oil baths, and memory defragmentation, with optional personality smoothing. No appointments necessary. Just step inside, power down, and let our certified technicians handle the rest. Luxury Droid Spas. You'll feel like yourself again. Some memories may not be included.
Sorry, what was that last part at the end?
I don't know, man. We were just sent the ad. Anyway, so let's talk about these episodes. I'm going to start off by saying that 307. Oh, I did see something cool.
Yeah.
Let me verify this. The Clone Wars 307. I want to be sure I get this right. I thought I saw something cool where, when Padmé arrives on Alderaan, Leia's theme is playing. Just, something cool with the music.
Yeah. Honestly, I actually saw that right here, though. Something I was going to mention.
What are you, at the bottom of the wiki?
Absolutely, 100%, yeah. Obviously.
Then read the other one.
Okay. The other continuity connection in this episode is when Ahsoka talks with Yoda about these premonitions she's having, or these visions that she's having. Yoda tells her that the future is always in motion, which is the same advice he gives to Luke in Empire Strikes Back, when Luke has visions of Leia and Han and all them being captured in Cloud City. So it just kind of connects a little bit. Yoda's using the same old advice. Come up with something original, why don't you? Jeez.
Yeah, gosh, what are you, 1,000, you freaking goblin?
But no, I think those are kind of cool little tidbits to put in there that if you don't really know to look for them, you'll probably miss them.
Yeah. Did you just notice that my face went less bright?
No.
Were you looking at me?
Nope.
My monitor just shut off.
Oh.
Then it kicked back on. Sorry. Anywho.
I think really the only thing that I have, I guess, kind of a point for episode 7 is it loosely ties in with the arc where Boba is trying to kill Mace Windu. Simply in the sense of Aurra Sing was believed to have been killed at the end of that arc by Ahsoka. But obviously with this episode, she didn't die in the crash of Slave One.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I guess that's kind of the only thing I have to say on this, because like we were talking a little bit before we started recording, and a lot of this is just kind of like either action sequence or kind of, you know, just Ahsoka talking to Yoda about her problems.
Yeah.
Ahsoka seeing her space therapist.
Yeah. Yeah, because, I mean, this one, so also, when we were talking about this was one of those ones where we weren't quite sure where it fit, and we do try to keep with, like, story arcs, and the whole 0 one makes sense, because it's like 308 is pretty much a prequel to 122, and then 309 is a sequel to that one, and it's one of those ones where they're like, let's expand this story a little bit. And so those make sense, but then it's like, well, what do we do with this one? Because it's kind of on its own, but it kind of ties in with what we just talked about, and kind of leads into this next one. And so we just figured we'd throw it here, but at the same time, I mean, there's not much to say on
it. I think, and truthfully, just kind of scanning over the plot summary on Wikipedia, just to see if there's anything to really comment on for this episode other than those like little continuity things. The only other thing I can think of is the conference that Padmé is going to on Alderaan to get or is to address increasing humanitarian problems with war refugees. So it kind of it gives us the picture of the war's getting bigger, it's intensifying, more people are like being displaced from the violence. You know, people across the galaxy are suffering. I think, truthfully, that's kind of the original intent behind this episode, and then the whole Aurra Sing assassination attempt is... for the episode alone, that's obviously, like, the issue here, but when you look at it from, like, the galaxy as a whole, this one just kind of points out that the war is becoming a bigger and bigger problem as it drags on.
Yeah.
So... which, I mean... I will say with this episode, it kind of bothers me that they put the whole Aurra Sing assassination thing in here. Because you could have done a whole episode speaking on people getting displaced from the war and, you know, the suffering that is happening. And you could have added more weight to the Clone Wars with this episode, and I feel like the Aurra Sing stuff just kind of overshadowed that and pushed it to the background.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that.
But I mean, other than that, I don't really
we're not
anything
gonna
else to comment
we're
on
not gonna
this
spend more
episode.
time on that episode, but we wanted to throw it in there because like it kind of ties in.
Yeah.
And we want to cover it, but it just kind of fit best here.
It's one of those episodes that there's not really a good arc to put it with, and at the same time, there's not a lot to talk about with it. But again, like Jacob said, we want to cover it because it is Star Wars. It's in the show. We don't just want to ignore it entirely. But with that, I think we can get on to the true and proper arc that we're covering today.
Yeah.
Which is the stuff with Cad Bane and Zero and all of that good stuff. I'm just going to not look at you anymore. That's what I'm going to do. Because Jacob is flashing stuff on the screen to try and get me to laugh, and it is very distracting. That is what's going on here.
Yep.
Before we get into the specific episodes,
I did it again.
There's a couple points I wanted to just mention as a whole for us to keep in mind going into these episodes.
Okay.
Number one, I think something to keep in mind with these episodes is obviously per the episodes as you watch them, these aren't big battles. These aren't, turning points in the Clone Wars. These aren't about huge victories or defeats. Truthfully, these episodes point towards the failings of the Republic. Whack, Jacob, quit it. But no, these episodes really point towards the failure of the Republic as they're, winding down towards Order 66.
Yeah.
Just, the fact that a bounty hunter can break into the Senate, can break into a prison with, per these episodes, relative ease, very little resistance, and threaten a whole group of senators, break out a high-value prisoner that is obviously connected to horrific cartel crimes. Obviously we don't have like the separatists, like the separatists just aren't involved in these episodes at all.
Yeah.
Which I mean,
No,
just goes to show all about all of the corruption that is going on in these final days of the Republic.
Not on Mandalore though.
No, not on Mandalore's perfect. They have had no problems whatsoever.
Right.
And with that, I do like these 3 episodes because they really give us a nice rounded character of Cad Bane. We get to see him in action. We get to see his methods, how ruthless he can be, how skilled he is. I think these 3 episodes actually do a really good job of being like, here's a bad guy, not involved in all of this big conflict stuff. This is just a bad guy. Here's the character. This is what he can do. This is how dangerous he is.
Yeah. Here's a really awesome character. Disregard how sad he is. What?
Anyways.
Because he's blue.
Why did I know something stupid was about to come out of your mouth? Right there.
I think you answered your own question.
But with that, before we get into the episodes, I do have a question for you.
Oh, okay. 4.
That doesn't answer the question.
Oh.
With Cad Bane that we get in these 3 episodes, is Cad Bane more dangerous than most Sith that we are aware of? And I ask that because without the Force, without a lightsaber, without armies at his back, he breaks into these insanely secure, quote-unquote, insanely secure locations, near cripples the Republic by taking out a bunch of senators, and gets away with it. He holds off Obi-Wan Kenobi and Quinlan Vos by himself. And so it's like, with that in mind, if you give Cad Bane the army that, say, the Sith of the Old Republic have, is he more dangerous than those Sith?
I mean, he does obviously possess the skill and the logic and strategy to get it done.
Yeah.
And I suppose in that sense, if his motives are, he could. I think that the difference is it seems like Sith, aside from Palpatine, who's very methodical and in everything, aren't like aren't that way.
Right.
Like you think of Maul, like he's kind of playing chess in a way, but he's also like kind of very abrasive and aggressive about his acts, whereas Cad Bane kind of thinks it through and takes the most logical approach, I suppose. Which, not that Maul doesn't, but it's like he's more loud about it.
I feel like Cad Bane, and I feel like you see it a lot in these 3 episodes, is like the evil version of Batman. If he's got time to prepare, you're not going to beat him. Well, I mean, but no, if Cad Bane has time to prepare, has time to kind of come up with a plan, even a half-cocked plan, you're probably not going to beat him. But if you catch him by surprise, like if he's not expecting the fight to happen, you stand a chance. Because like watching him fight in the 3rd episode of this arc, Obi-Wan and Quinlan Vos, if Darth Maul rolled up on Cad Bane, I don't know who wins. You know, like Darth Maul is a skilled duelist. Like he is. I don't think anybody could argue that he's not. Like he knows how to use his lightsaber. He knows how to use the Force. He's ruthless. But Cad Bane holds his own against a Jedi Knight and a Jedi Master, and walks away to tell the tale.
Yeah.
I'd like you put Cad Bane against Savage Opress. I think Cad Bane wins.
Yeah, Savage
you put him
wasn't
against
very...
Asajj Ventress.
Yeah.
I think he wins. You know, Darth Maul. I think it's a coin toss. Obviously, like a Palpatine. Like Palpatine's gonna wipe the floor with Cad Bane. But, you put Cad Bane against any single Jedi, other than I would say probably like Yoda, Mace Windu, Obi-Wan, Plo Koon, maybe Anakin at this point in time. I think Cad Bane kills him easy. With how we see him handle himself.
Yeah. Definitely stands a chance, that's for sure.
Yeah. And because one interesting fact about Cad Bane, I thought this was super interesting. The reason he's got those tubes...
He's really jolted up on caffeine.
No. This is not a Bane from Batman situation.
No, that's not what I'm talking about. Just, red eye and whatnot.
I know. Yeah. But no, you said that, and I was thinking like Bane from Batman, all the tubes of his like steroid juice that he uses.
Right.
But no, Cad Bane has had a tube surgically inserted into his throat to prevent himself from being force choked.
Mm-hmm.
And he's taken other measures, hence those tubes, to counter different force abilities because he's fought Jedi.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was super cool that he takes these steps when he realizes what he may be fighting. And, he's fought this in the past, and obviously something happened to him, so he takes a step to make sure that does not happen again.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that was really cool.
Yeah.
But with that, then, should we get into the respective episodes?
We should. So I'm freaking getting tired. 25 minutes left of our recording.
I don't know if these 3 episodes are going to take 25 minutes to cover.
I don't think they probably will, but,
Especially the first one, Season 3, Episode 8.
Yeah.
Not a lot really happens there.
No, because it is just freaking R2-D2 and 3PO going out to find these fruit, because Padmé is I did it in the summary, but she's throwing this party, trying to gain the favor of the senator that she needs a vote for, and his dessert that he just loves requires these, I think they're called like Jogan fruits or something, but I'm calling them Joe Rogan fruits, and she needs them, and they don't have them, so she sends 3PO and R2 to go out, and they go out and they find them, And she gave them like 4 credits to spend on them because they should be 1 credit each. And then the guy's like, well, they're 4 credits each. And then they're just like, oh, well, no, then. And then they talking to each other and they're like, we can't afford this, but we really, really need them. And he's just like, well, that's a steep price. It's 32 credits now. He's, hiking them up. And eventually they buy it, but then they're kidnapped. And whatever. This really just serves the purpose of another prep step for Cad Bane getting into the Senate building. Because he needs the floor plan to know what to do. And so he gets the floor plan by these guys.
My thing with this, though, is R2-D2 has so much sensitive information.
Yeah.
Stored within him.
Yeah, because... Yeah, Anakin doesn't.
Yeah, well, it's I can't think of what the episode. What I think it's in season 2, but it's the one where Anakin is having like a fighter battle against General Grievous out in space, and his ship gets hit, and they lose R2, and then they gotta go find him.
Right.
Like Anakin even says, "Yeah, I never wiped his memory. He's got all of our battle plans stored inside of him.
Yeah,
like he's got all of it.
Yeah."
All of our secret base locations, all of our strategies, everything, because it's come in handy in the past. And so with that, we have to assume that he's never wiped R2's memory since then. And it's like, you just sent the one droid that if a separatist spy got their hands on him could mean the downfall of the entire Republic, losing the war, off into the markets by himself. Like C-3PO is not going to be able to protect R2 in any capacity. Like this is coming from someone who served in the military, and the way that the U.S. military compartmentalizes information and all that kind of stuff. Like you only know what you need to know. You don't get to know extra stuff. In case the worst of the worst happens, they can't. Like an enemy cannot get sent like all of the information from one dude. This is such a breach in security. This is an insane breach in security. This is... I don't know how to express this to show the severity of what has happened here. Like, the Republic is just lucky Cad Bane wanted the Senate layout and didn't take the rest to sell it to the highest bidder.
Yeah.
Like, oh gosh, so many bad things could have happened.
Yeah.
Like,
but in this, that's kind of the purpose of the episode. We kind of see more of R2's personality, because as soon as they're like trying to lure them into the luxury droid spa, he's just like, oh heck yeah, and goes in immediately.
Yeah. I love the attitude we get from R2 throughout all of Star Wars.
Yeah.
And we don't get a single like understandable word from him. It's just all through like the beeps and whistles he does, or like C-3PO translating. Yeah. And this just goes right back into it as well. I think it's hilarious.
But that's pretty much that episode. I mean,
yeah.
I think we can probably just talk about the next one.
My only other thing with that episode was, and we touched on it before we got into the episode specifically, like this just points towards Cad Bane's competency, his efficiency. Yeah. Like he goes in, gets what he needs, gets out. He doesn't waste time. He doesn't do like the big bad villain speech or anything like that. It's just it's all business.
Right.
But excuse me. Other than that, I had nothing on that episode, so we can go into Season 1, Episode 22, because for some reason they liked to throw these things in there out of order.
Yeah.
I
mean,
we talked about this one already. Like
we did. Yeah.
So I don't know how much time you really want to spend on it.
Not a ton, but I do want to just... I guess in this episode we kind of see how dependent Jedi are on their lightsabers. He makes do without it,
Yeah, Anakin, yeah.
But,
Well, and I will say with that, I find it really intriguing with this episode when Anakin doesn't have his lightsaber. Like you said, he makes do. He survives for a little bit before he gets caught. But it really intrigues me how obviously dependent on the lightsaber Anakin is here. But then you get someone like Palpatine, who in one of the books, I don't remember which one it is specifically, it stated that Palpatine views the use of a lightsaber as like beneath him. Palpatine, one of the things that a big thing he doesn't like about the Jedi is their dependence on their lightsaber. And so it's like Revenge of the Sith, yeah, we see him use his lightsaber, but he's done all this stuff through the Clone Wars, using the Force, using manipulation, all this other kind of stuff. So I think it's really intriguing how like this mastermind Sith can do all this stuff without having to go into a single battle.
Mm-hmm.
But then you get the Jedi, who are supposed to be these good, upstanding people that protect, and settle disputes and everything. And as soon as he doesn't have a weapon, good luck.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's interesting. It's interesting because the Sith, as we know, are like evil, violence, suffering, all that kind of stuff. So you'd expect them to be more dependent on the lightsaber than the Jedi, who are supposed to be peaceful.
Mm-hmm.
But the roles there are reversed, which is really strange.
Yeah. Something that was kind of funny is in this episode when Bane orders the disguised commando droids to clear the dead Senate commandos after they had gotten killed when they first enter. These droids, you can see human skin visible beneath the droid's helmet.
Oh.
Like beneath the armor. I mean, thinking about it from an animation standpoint, they obviously just swapped out the models.
Right.
But, it's being worn by a droid now, and so it's like you shouldn't see that, but...
That's kind of funny. I never noticed that.
Neither did I. Wikipedia pointed it out.
Watching that, yeah. Another thing with this episode that kind of struck me was, at least this early in the Clone Wars show, they never really had the bad guy win this decisively.
Mm.
Because it's like even if you go back to like the Malevolence arc, right? General Grievous is wiping out like clone fleets, killing an insane amount of them, right? But at the end of the day, he still loses. Like the Malevolence is destroyed, he has to run away.
Right.
But this one, nothing bad happens to Cad Bane.
No.
He only gets all the pluses. He gets none of the negatives. And this is just an utter and ultimate and complete defeat on the side of the Republic. Like there's no saving grace for them here.
Yeah.
Which compared to the rest of the early seasons and the early episodes, this one just stands out as an outlier so hard for that.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, though, I don't really think there's too much more on this episode. Again, a lot of this one is more like action sequence.
Yeah. Well, because it's like him sneaking in and then him taking,
and like Anakin trying to,
right.
Do something without his weapon.
Right.
But at the end of this episode, though, the Republic do let Zero the Hutt go, because that's part of, Cad Bane's ultimatum or not even part of, that's his ultimatum, like let him go or your senators die.
Yeah.
With that, though, with everything we know about Zero and his connection to the Hutt Cartel and all the horrific stuff the Hutt Cartel does, do you think the Jedi made the right call in letting Zero the Hutt go?
Just for the lives of a couple of senators? As much as I love the Senate episodes of the Clone Wars, No, they should have killed him.
No. And I think this question goes to, you're just so blunt about it. I'm sorry. As far as this question goes, though, I think it equates to there's a burning building, and in the burning building is the cure for cancer, and your relative, your grandma, your mom, whoever. Do you save your relative or do you save the cure for cancer?
I throw gasoline.
You can only get to one in time. Yeah, I bet you did. You're like, screw it, they're all dying.
Yeah. No, I'm just trying to stir the pot. Realistically, though, Obi-Wan wasn't in that room, so screw him. And I get
I mean, if Cad Bane killed him, Anakin was there, so Order 66 doesn't happen.
I mean, I think that's anyway, yeah.
Season 3, episode 9 picks up where season 1, episode 22 left off, with the Jedi now trying to get Zero back. Because they let him go when they probably shouldn't have, and should have just let the senators die, because that would have stopped Order 66. And the Jedi would have lived on. This is actually the episode where we get introduced to Quinlan Vos. I know he is a fan, I wouldn't say favorite, but there's quite a following for Quinlan. A lot of people like him. Me personally, I don't actually really care for Quinlan Vos as a character.
I don't mind him, but I wasn't like immediately enamored by him or anything.
To me, he feels like the Deadpool.
He doesn't really do stuff
of the Jedi Order,
traditional ways, and I can see that analogy.
Yeah,
actually.
Like he's still a Jedi. He's still trying to do the right thing, but he's not following the rules at all. But this is the episode as well where we get introduced to that giant Hutt, like the Hutt mom. Yeah, because Zero goes there to try and get her starship so he can get off the planet, because the Hutts aren't too happy with his threats and everything, so he's trying to get out of there while they're trying to off him. And of course, this was the episode we were talking about before, where old Cad Bane has his 1v2 against Obi-Wan and Quinlan. I think it's kind of comical. I think it's funny that they have Quinlan Vos and Obi-Wan Kenobi as the duo of this episode. Because, they're both Jedi, but I don't think I could think of two people that are so opposite from one another that are still within the same organization. Because, Obi-Wan follows all the rules. He does what the Jedi are supposed to do. He's constantly riffing on Anakin for when Anakin breaks the rules, and then they put him with the one Jedi that probably breaks the rules more than Anakin does. I do actually want to look this up, because I thought there was a character that was actually... I can't even look it up on my computer. What am I doing? Yeah, I'm done. So, Jacob, if you could look it up on your end. I thought there was a named character that was Quinlan Vos's apprentice. I could be wrong, but I thought he had an apprentice that we would be somewhat familiar with.
Okay. Ayla Secura.
Yes. I was saying, I couldn't for the life of me remember who it was, but I was like, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure it was like a named figure that we got more of in the Clone Wars. Yeah, Ayla Secura, another, yeah, not like fan favorite Jedi,
Yeah.
but a
No,
pretty well liked
it says
Jedi.
Voss was an expert tracker.
Um,
Many of his missions took him into the criminal underworld. On one such mission, he met Ayla Secura and thereafter accepted her as his Padawan. So that's interesting.
yeah, which I have to assume, like Anakin, he was not given the rank of
More likely, yeah.
master because of all the rules that he breaks after Ayla Secura was knighted. Because one of the prerequisites to being granted the rank of master within the Jedi Order is having successfully trained an apprentice to knighthood. Is one of the requirements. So I just have to imagine the Jedi Order is like, he may have trained her and she's solid Jedi, but like, this dude worse than Qui-Gon.
Yeah.
He's not being a master.
Something that was cool.
No, I just thought that was really interesting that you got someone like Ayla Secura who, not as strict as say like a Luminara or an Obi-Wan, still follows the code pretty solidly, but you get someone like her from a Jedi that is just works in the morally gray spaces as Quinlan Vos
I
does.
just sent you a Discord message, by the way. That's what you'll click to upload your audio once you reconnect to the internet. But this episode, sorry, just wanted to, but
Okay.
something that was kind of cool was that I'm just going to read this section from Wikipedia because there's some kind of cool things. It says Hunt for Zero drew inspiration from various sources. Mama was partially inspired by the obese vampire Pearl from the 1998 film Blade. The Rand D housekeeper droids in Mama's Hutt were an homage to the 1987 film Batteries Not Included. And when Zero dies, he says, "What a world, what a world," in reference to a line spoken by the Wicked Witch of the West in 1939's The Wizard of Oz. Additionally, the music number in Gardula's Palace was a tribute to the opening scene of 1984's Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. So that was kind of cool. It says the number was inserted into the... Yeah, the number was inserted into the episode as a throwback to the Chicago nightclub scenes often seen in gangster films. Designer Darren Marshall and supervising director Dave Filoni designed the headdresses worn by Snoodle's backup dancers. The headdresses have been compared to those found in director Julie Taymor's staging The Lion King musical, blah, 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 blah. So, either way, the primary thing there was all the references. I thought that was cool.
Yeah. Yeah, that's... I've seen the Blade movie. It's been a long time. I've always seen the Wizard of Oz. It's been a long time. But it's cool that they had little like nods to those in the episode.
Yeah.
I never would have picked up on those if you hadn't
There's
said them.
always cool things like that. I think that it's always cool seeing where somebody draws inspiration. And when there's like references to those inspiration or things that the creator likes, or homages to certain pieces. It's always, I think, pretty neat.
Excuse me. Yeah, I like seeing that stuff. Obviously, I like it more when I've seen the media that it's referring to. So like when we did the one that had the reference or heavily based off of Seven Samurai. Like those things are still interesting to me, but it doesn't, I guess like hit quite as hard. It's not quite as cool to me because I haven't seen the film Seven Samurai before.
Yeah.
But I've seen like the Blade and Wizard of Oz, so it's cool to have some of those earlier media influence this kind of stuff. I will say too, though, one thing with this episode that I found really interesting was seeing the Hutt Council. I thought that was really cool because I think up until this arc, we only really ever got Zero the Hutt because we get him in the Star Wars: The Clone Wars movie, and
And
then
Pizza the Hut.
Jabba the Hutt, right? And of course, like yeah, and Pizza. um, but of course, we have like Jabba the Hutt's son, but he's like a baby. And if you pay attention in the Phantom Menace, you can see another hut behind Jabba during the pod races. But like we don't really, they're like inconsequential because they don't do anything in those movies. But I just thought it was really cool to see that it's not just Jabba pulling all the strings. It's like a proper council of the heads of the families, you know, coming to these decisions, making their quote unquote business arrangements.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just thought that was really cool. I had a couple kind of like closing questions here. Kind of wrap this up, but unless you had anything on the episodes.
But it let us go a little longer last time, so we'll see.
Yeah. So, question 1. Is Cad Bane the most effective non-Force villain in Star Wars?
Based on these episodes and not really thinking past it, yeah. Well, actually, even thinking past it, because we think about some of the, like, he kidnaps children.
Well, because
he does this. He is very effective.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of another one that rivals that. And yeah.
Well, because even if you look at someone like Boba Fett, right, later on in like the original trilogy, yeah, he has Han Solo, but that's because Darth Vader did the work to get Han Solo, And it's like, yeah, Boba Fett has all these accolades to his name, but I don't know if Boba Fett would even be as efficient as Cad Bane. Like these episodes just depict. I say villain, but I don't even necessarily know if I'd call Cad Bane a villain. He's simply a bounty hunter that takes jobs. Now, whether that's for what. Yeah, so like whether that's for the good guys or the bad guys, as long as he gets paid, he's going to do the job. But like we just get this depiction of this extremely efficient, no nonsense, get in, get out, give me my money character. And I really can't think of someone that would be more efficient other than like your Palpatines.
Yeah.
Than Cad Bane is. Yeah. The second question is, could the Republic have survived if it treated information as seriously as firepower?
Yeah, maybe.
Obviously this is kind of just like going back to the whole R2D2 has all this information and is stored within him, and they just kind of let him do whatever he wants or like go out unprotected or unsupervised. I think the answer to this is still no, though.
No, that's
because you have Palpatine there just manipulating things. And so even if the Republic is super secure with their information, they've got a mole, aka the leader of the Republic. So I think that's still a no. And the final question: are the Jedi actually bad at non-war problems?
They definitely have their downsides and their mess ups.
My mind goes to Phantom Menace when Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon show up to break the blockade of Naboo, and they instantly have to resort to violence
Yeah.
to get it done. And so and if we go again back to that episode where Anakin, Obi-Wan, and Ahsoka are training the villagers with the 4 bounty hunters, they try to make a deal with Hondo, and it doesn't succeed, so they have to resort to violence. I'm convinced, just thinking about this, the Jedi are not good at non-war problems. I'm convinced.
I don't know.
I don't know about you, but
Well, what about you, audience? We if you're on YouTube
yeah.
or Spotify, there's a comment feature, so answer that question. Also, let us know what you think of our podcast. I think that just because the platform we use limits us on the amount of recording, it's drawing close, so I'm trying to wrap it up just in case we get cut off. Also, Evan's internet, so that's throwing a wrench in it, but I don't know much else to really talk about this episode. So
Yeah, it just stopped.
wait, is it back up and running though? We'll fix it. We're playing
No,
graders
it's
tonight.
nope.
I'm primarily messing
I'm
with
gonna
you.
try.
But no, thanks for listening. And if, like I said, if you have access to a comment section, go ahead and let us know your thoughts on the question, as well as what you thought of this entire podcast. If you really want to go above and beyond and you're on Apple, leave us a review.
Yeah.
Otherwise, just share it around. Keep coming back and be cool.
Yeah. We'll catch you guys next time for either Lord of the Rings, if you're listening to that one, or if you're just here for Star Wars in 2 weeks with our next arc.
Because next week we are going to be celebrating Evan's birthday. His birthday is the day after we record, and I want to do something special.
Oh boy.
And so, come back.
I'm scared.
Come back.
I'm scared. Well, we will see you guys next week then for whatever this special surprise is that Jacob has.
Goodbye.
So, toodle-oodles.
Deuces!